Hey everyone, in this video we'll be starting a new series on open world gold farming. Everyone hears about the same major gold making farms. Usually these involve new content because new content usually offers the best gold per hour. This series isn't about making the most gold per hour necessarily, but rather figuring out how much gold could be earned from open world farming in each zone. I've always wondered about this, just out of curiosity. So we'll be making a video on each zone in the game, starting with the classic content and eventually moving into the newest content. Now we're going to set up a few parameters for these videos. First, we'll be using routes and GatherMate 2 data to create a route combining all of the mining and herbalism nodes in a zone. Then we'll fly through the zone and gather from each of the nodes. The optimal way to farm nodes in the open world is probably to use a druid for the flight form, and a specific race for faster herb gathering and movement speed items and talents and so on. But I wanted a gold estimate that applies to the average player, and not everybody has a character dedicated to open world gathering, so we'll be using a max level warrior with the normally fastest flight speed of 310%. I think most players easily can have the fastest flying and a max level character. For figuring out the gold per hour of the zone, we'll only be counting the items that we gather from the nodes. Any items that drop off random rare spawns, that are found in treasure chests, and so on will be ignored because these things can be considered simply bonuses. What we want is a baseline value for the gathering farm. For estimating the value of the items that we will gather, we will use Tradesco Master's region sale price source. This price is typically the lowest of the basic TSM price sources. And this is useful for multiple reasons. First, this price is for items that have actually provably sold, not just having been listed indefinitely. Second, this price is likely lower than anything you could realistically get on your specific realm. So even if you play on a low or mid-population realm, you would likely be able to sell these gathered items for more than this value and at least this value. Count anything extra as a bonus. Third, the region sale is averaged across the entire US region, so chances are it's the best baseline for everybody regardless of what realm they're on, especially for items as common as materials. We'll farm each route either for at least an hour or at least a full circuit, whichever is more time. Because we're only gathering materials, we don't really need to worry about farming the same route for hours upon hours in order to get a realistic estimate of value, because most nodes respawn quickly and exceptions to this are extremely rare. Now, if you like any of these routes, you could of course optimize them further and likely achieve much higher gold per hour numbers. For example, you could use an optimized gathering character, a max level druid, or something along those lines. You could also tweak each of the routes to remove nodes that are either too far out of the way or otherwise just not worth visiting for the time invested versus the payoff from the node. But just as a baseline, this experiment should be interesting and should be able to give us a good estimate of the value of each zone for mining and herbalism. You can find links to a playlist of these videos on my channel and in the description, and you can find a link to the first video in the series here. I hope that you enjoyed this series, and if you do, please give a thumbs up and subscribe. See you soon, and stay strong.